Hello everyone and welcome to Storytime with Kate. Today I'm going to talk about early literacy and print-rich environments to support emergent literacy in early childhood. Literacy can be described by EYLF as the capacity, confidence and disposition to use language in all its forms. For example, writing is about literacy, music is about literacy, talking is about literacy, movement is literacy too, drama or acting out, listening, visual arts such as painting and drawing, dance, media, and play. So these are called multiliteracies, and they also include, as you can see, digital or media. It is quite a new edition, but I also support such a wide and broad definition of literacy in line with the outcome number 5 of EYLF, or Early Years Learning Framework Australia, which views literacy as emergent skills and as communication to start with. So emergent literacy is what happens in early childhood education and care settings. So this can be described as skills, knowledge, attitudes that are presumed to be developmental precursors to reading and writing. Does it mean that children should be able to read and write at kindergarten? No. But precursors, they are important, and they might be something like ability of child to cross the midline, ability of child to use their gross motor skills, developed fine motor skills, balance, pincer grip or proper grip, of how to hold a pencil, developed small muscles in your fingers, your lips, your tongue, etc. So literacy is, as you can see, quite complex. So, and environments that support literacy, emergent literacy, also play a huge and important role. Today I'm going to share some of the resources that you can use in early childhood education and care settings to promote literacy. Number 1, paper. So I have only one type of paper, which is a white A4 paper. But in centers that support emergent literacy, you should have a variety of paper, such as poster paper, rolls, like from IKEA, for example. You might have paper for outdoor drawing, writing, or emergent literacy activities. You might have brown paper, recycled paper, paper that is hard to write on, paper that is like a cardboard, sustainable paper. So all sorts of paper. I also like little notebooks and notepads that I find in secondhand shops, in $2 shops, and also some notebooks like this one, because they amazing. They can be shared, so they are attractive and can be put in the literacy corner or emergency writing center. So this was $2, by the way. So the next resource that I used with children of all ages and still use is Clipboard. Clipboards are important. My favorite, one of my favorite authors, Kathy Walker and Shauna Bass, both of them, they did write this wonderful book, Early Childhood Play Matters, and I attended professional development session. And here you can see on the title page how the child is using Clipboard to represent their ideas. So they might attempt writing, they might draw, or just use scribbling, depends on the stage of development. Children use these clipboards everywhere. They can use them in dramatic corners to write. And children deserve the best texters. So I found black felt tip text is the best. So let's say children will draw. So not to lose the text, I usually attach it on a string to the clipboard. Or you can do it like this. And you can also teach children to put the lid back on, because it's a common problem. So this should be available outside, inside, near the construction area, near the dramatic play area, in the book corner. So pretty much everywhere. If you have only one set of clipboards, and they come in different shapes or forms, they might be A3, A4, or little ones like this, very easy for little hands to carry as well. So they are wonderful, and they require smaller paper, so which you can also use. So these clipboards can be put in a small basket, square basket, and taking from inside to outside. So this also will enrich outdoor play environments. Imagine that children see some insects or plants, and you can put this as a provocation with good textures for them to use representational drawing, pre-writing, scribbling, etc. So this is definitely one of the most important resources that I use. Number 2 is whiteboard. Yes, so I love whiteboards. And whiteboards, I use smaller textures, whiteboard textures, but this one is big. Also good for some younger children because they use fist grip. But as you can see, this can be used by teachers during story time, for example, to write children's names, write who is present, yeah, model writing from left to right, which is also emergent literacy, write numbers. So whatever concepts you are explaining, so these are really portable, easy to use, easy to hang, and just wonderful, and do not cost an arm and a leg. So children also can use magnetic whiteboards because they are lightweight, and you again can take them outside and keep them inside in similar way as clipboards. So for representational drawing, for attempts to write or document their thinking. Next one is blackboards. So blackboards can come in different shapes. So as you can see, this one is more for advertising what kind of play space I set up. So that's a quiet play, or you might put questions on the blackboards, and this will introduce print, yeah, to children. This one has a question: can you make a pattern? So obviously it was a math related, cognitive development related play space, and I use this as display for blackboards. You also can invite children to draw with chalk on the blackboards, and you might have bigger blackboards outside and inside. So also one of my favorite. Next thing you can do easily, and it's quite cheap as well, is to print. Print signs. For example, this one invites children to measure. Let's measure. So you also can print the names of the play spaces that you set up. When it comes to dramatic play, it doesn't matter what age children, the exposure to print is what is required for emergent literacy. So, and this one, for example, is from my favorite dramatic corner, doctors. So we have some signs for nurse, doctor, receptionist, and we also have cards for any things that you can use in this dramatic corner. So it's very easy to print, laminate, and reuse all the time. So next one is alphabet. So alphabet is probably present in many centers. I love big letters that are sturdy and beautiful, so like these ones. So you can use it as flashcards or just put them near the writing corner, in the emergent literacy corner, or book corner. So they also are wonderful. These are Montessori sandpaper letters, so they're great for tracing. Yeah, so, and can be put in the box, yeah, so just to model how to write for children, or might be a sensory experience where children will trace these letters, or it can be put in the sandbox, and they can actually use their fingers or brushes to use their emergent literacy skills or pre-writing skills. So wonderful resource, not very expensive. So another one is, well, if you have, for example, dramatic play, and you want to enrich children's vocabulary, you can have cards. So these are not English cards, but you can make English cards as well. They're flashcards, can be put into this, like, let's say, dress up corner, to provide children with print-rich environment. So, or you can use similar cards with animals that are familiar for children, and just use it as a literacy resource anyway. Next one is kind of less common. They are pictures. Yes, so pictures of famous artists. So it might be photos, might be artwork that are famous and relevant to the projects you do with children. So what is different, so you actually write down the name of the painter or artist, and then you write a title. So this is also beautiful addition to your environments, but introduces famous artworks to children and supports emergent literacy. Finally, and it's not all of course, but it's just something that comes to my mind, you need to give children the best tools they deserve. So this is part of philosophy of Reggio Emilia approach. So I like Sharpies that are fine point. So and children, they actually feel more confident when they use them, and they might not put the lid on, but of course it's intentional teaching when you supervise children using these complex tools. But the more they will use it, the more responsible they will become. So fine point Sharpies are the best, or one of the best. I also like calligraphy pens. They are amazing. Calligraphy pens are wonderful for this purpose. Or you can use black textures markers of any brand, and of course you can use connected textures, which are always wonderful to use, because they are not just for writing, they're for fine motor skills, and children love to put them together like that. So these resources should be available indoors, outdoors. I also like to add pencils everywhere and keep them sharp. So that's one of the most important things. Children are quite mesmerized by post-it notes. If you have them available, you can always provide them in your writing or emergency skills corner. Finally, these are new. I really like them. They are liquid chalk textures. So remember the Blackboard that we had? So you can use these ones for drawing, and it's just beautiful. Yes, so that's for I think more for inside rather than outside. So to summarize, emergent literacy is exposure to literacy-rich environments, which I described. It enriches vocabulary, phonological awareness. It introduces conventions of print, how you model writing or reading, alphabet knowledge, and oral language. So don't forget that books is literacy resource number one. So great quality, age-appropriate, beautiful books should be, of course, available for children both inside and outside. I hope you enjoy setting up literacy-rich environments to support emergent literacy. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe.